La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. Oh. Oh. Do. Do 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 la da 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 da. Um. Okay.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Good evening, degenerates, truth seekers, and crypto fiends. Welcome to the nightly recap where chaos is the headline, but we spin it so you don't shit your pants. So check this. Washington is acting like the world's most dysfunctional reality show. We got a government shutdown, federal agencies still closed, inboxes sending auto replies that read like bad Tinder profiles. Sorry, I'm unavailable. Also, Democrats suck. Did you guys see that? Bro, even the out of office message is campaigning. Meanwhile, our man DJT, Donald Jerome Trump, is making moves. He taps Michael Saylor as chair of the CFTC, which is the regulator that watches crypto and futures. But that's like putting the fox in charge of the henhouse. But the fox has Bitcoin in his wallet. And crypto, oh, she's singing a sweet song of I told you so. Bitcoin just popped past 111K on rumors that the US and China might stop playing Cold War 2.0. Y'all remember when Bitcoin was a risky bet? Now, all of a sudden, it's a safe bet. But wait, there's more. Trump pardoned the founder of Binance. Yes, the man who went to jail for letting criminals slide is now out courtesy of presidential clemency. Sound like a plot twist? It is. So what are we doing? We're laughing because if we don't, the collapse of the status quo might just make us cry. We're here stacking sats, watching the system rattle and preparing for the next wave. Strap in, check your wallet, and please keep your sense of humor. This train just left the station, and I am joined by my esteemed colleague, the puppet man, the puppet master, Mr. Technical Analysis himself, the great Landy. Landy, what's up, bro?
What's up, Hotep? It's
Welcome
been a little
back.
while. Thank you.
It's been a while. I've been replacing you with real titties recently.
Yes. Don't worry. For the audience, I made sure to send him some also real titties in the DMs.
I'm gonna cut your ass when I see you. Chat, you got to see what this fool sent me. Hold on, let me see. Chat, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous what this man sent to my DMs. Hold on, let me pull this up on the screen. I was cussing him out when I saw this. Hold on, where is it? Look at this, chat. How do I screen share on this stupid thing? Where is it? Share screen. This. Look at this, chat. What is this? Chat, what is this? What does that say? Pup life
Yeah, pup life. Yeah.
with a Bitcoin bra on,
Yep.
draws on his ears, and a pink dildo in his hand. This is out of control.
Look, I gotta go to the WNBA game and throw that on the court. Look, I'm in debt to the bookies bad. I don't know if you know, but they're starting to the FBI is starting to crack down. I don't want to get wrapped up in that.
Are you out there placing illegal bets and robbing people at the poker table?
I would never do that, but I got to go do this one thing real quick. All right, so I got to do what I got to do. So if you got any poly market bets on pink dildos hitting the floor on another WNBA game, just you didn't hear about it here. Maybe this is the alpha right here.
That is out of control. Out of control. Erica says, "Hey Hotep, hey Landy, hey Erica." Shout out to Erica.
Hell yeah. What's up, Erica?
Wait, who's Erica?
Erica.
Erica.
Yeah.
Is that the cute little quiet girl?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Erica. What up, Erica? I know who you are. I know who you are. Let me set up a market real quick. Landy, I got to ask you a question. Before we get into tonight's topics, we got 5 topics to get into tonight: Trump, Bitcoin, and more. Are you running option plays on Bitcoin?
Yeah.
How are you doing that? What platform are you using?
Oh, I'm not using any platform that most would have the ability to do so. But I mean, you can do it through your brokerage accounts, right? There's different options plays. There's even leverage plays on Bitcoin spot ETFs. But on the spot ETFs, you can run some plays. I like to buy the spot side ETFs, and I have access to Chicago.
Wait. What secret CIA stuff you got that you doing trades on?
CME.
CME?
Yeah. Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
You got the direct connect?
I might have some connections, yes.
What the hell?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Markel, you know what he's talking about? You're not a trade on CME, Markel?
You need to be an institution.
How
you gotta have a fund.
Wait, are you an institution?
I spent a lot of time on Wall Street and left Wall Street for other things. So, hey, look, I got my start there. I learned everything I needed to learn. Right? Go do your own thing. Look, for your normal portfolio, your options plays are going to be right with your brokerages, right? Your Fidelities, your Robinhoods, your Weebles,
I could do option plays on Bitcoin.
You can do option plays on Bitcoin spot ETFs, yes. And the
ETFs
leverage, yeah, on the ETFs, yeah. If you're looking for just straight options plays, OKX was one of the. No, was it OKX or what's the other one that most of them don't have a lot of liquidity. I just wouldn't even bother in most cases. Mm-hmm. There are some newer platforms that have been trying, but the liquidity is really thin. So the spread is kind of garbage. Mm-hmm. So I haven't really played with it in a long time. There was a few people that I was talking to and kind of exploring where to do options on chain. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to become a bigger thing though. And I might even ask, I've got a few platforms that I get the privilege of talking to on a pretty regular basis on various Spaces events that I might actually have to make that suggestion to, is like integrate some options, because that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I want to trade options on Bitcoin.
It'd be nice, right? To get outside and on chain and outside of the traditional market sphere. Because then you can just take profits right to your wallet and not have to worry about all the crap.
I don't mind getting options in TradFi. Like, it doesn't have to be on chain. I just want to bet on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty
BTC of futures. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can do futures plays. That is essentially, but they're not like the traditional options markets, right? So there are And the big thing is liquidity. It comes down to liquidity. And we just, a couple of Fridays ago, the entire ecosystem was exposed for how little liquidity there actually is when things really get rolling in a direction. We saw just on Bitcoin alone over $15 billion washed out of the market a couple Fridays ago, right?
Yeah.
So, and it still maintained structure. So it just goes to show you how strong Bitcoin is. Meanwhile, everything else puked out all the holy hell. The recovery's been fine though. So far.
What country are we in? AKA Light Skin Keisha said, why doesn't Landy ever show his face? And it's because he works for like the secret agencies of the government or something like that. He's like, I don't know, an op or some shit.
I'm a manufactured. I'm literally. I tell you everything you guys need to know. I'm an actual puppet, like literally. I'm wearing a puppet, and my location is Langley, Virginia, at the George Bush Center. Like I don't know how much clearer I need to make it.
Markel says because he trades on the CME. Exactly. He's got some exclusive shit going on. Let's get to the topics. Trump picks Michael Selig. Did I say that right? Or is it Selig?
I think you're saying it right. It's either Selig or Selig, either or. Maybe get him on.
Michael Selig for CFTC chair. The former crypto task force counsel now takes the top spot at America's futures regulator. So this is good. We got Trump appointing people at the CFTC to keep Trump people there. The question is, if a Democrat comes in, can they remove him? That's the question I want to know.
It's tough.
Let me ask the AI. Let's ask the AI. Because I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm loving the markets with Trump. How about you?
I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. It's huge, big, beautiful moves. And I love it.
It's like, this is the perfect traded atmosphere. And I'm like, I don't want a Democrat to come in here and fuck up my money.
I can't wait until he's crowned king. Like, it's going to be the most amazing time. The golden era will begin when he is crowned king. Trump 2028.
Well, Bannon said he wants him to go for a third term.
Yeah. There's ways to do it.
Is there?
Yeah, I mean, Bannon's keeping cards close to the chest, but there are ways to do it, right? Like you can literally just run him as VP under JD, and then they can switch spots. There's other ways to do it. I don't know how that would work, but there's other ways to do it.
You can do that? You can switch spots?
I don't know if they could, JD could write an executive order, say I'm stepping down. And
he could just step down and that would automatically make Trump the president.
Yeah. And then the line of succession would be, JD would have to step aside. So I don't know what that would look like, unless Trump did something to appoint him back as like VP. There's been a lot of debate about that. Anyway, and I would love that. And then they just do the same thing in the next election after that. Trump's like 90 something, just do the same exact thing. And then JD didn't serve a full term, then he can go on for another 8 years and we can just keep this running. Then get Barron in there, make JD VP again.
Right.
Just keep switching back and forth. You know what? Make the king narrative come true. Screw that. Just make the king narrative come true.
At least until I hit my mark. Once I hit my goal, then, they can bring a Democrat back in there because then, by then I won't be affected. I can just move to Thailand or something like that.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, Hotep. I want them to just codify a lot of the agenda in law, right? So we need Congress to start really passing things as part of the agenda so that it can't be undone by a future administration. That's really what I want. And if I don't care how much time that takes and what they got to do it, because this is about saving this country.
Especially in crypto. Especially in crypto.
Yes. Yeah. Because crypto is inevitable and we need to have legislation passed that's going to make sure that they can't come back and just stomp us out with a choke point 3.0.
Because Biden was not crypto friendly, and he was he wasn't the architect of it, but he took blame for Operation Choke Point, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't want to go backwards. So you're right. If we can codify that, get that in the law so they can't undo it. AI says technically Democrats could oust him from the role, but it would have to be justified, right? Like, so they can't just do it
Mhm.
arbitrarily.
Yeah.
I think the term they said for this is Selig would first need Senate confirmation as a commissioner, typically a staggered 5-year term with
Mhm.
no more than 3 from the same party. Once confirmed, removal as a commissioner requires for cause, making it harder but not impossible. Okay, yeah, so they're gonna need cause to do it. Pulse Jitsu says, "I'm here for tech." Well, welcome here. Welcome, bro. How you doing? Crypto legislation will go in our favor thanks to Eric Trump. I hope so. I really hope so. I hope so. Um, Trump scraps federal troop plan for Bay Area after pushback from tech and city leaders. The rollout of 100 plus federal agents was canceled. Damn, I didn't know about that.
Hmm.
Um, I will say this: the one place that needed it was Chicago.
Yeah.
Um, just the amount of cartel out there is absolutely ridiculous, especially for a place like Chicago, so far away from Mexico and the border. It's absolutely ridiculous. Do you know how it got like that?
I don't know.
Barack Obama.
Was that part of flying people in? Part of the sanctuary city stuff?
That too, but Barack Obama started Operation Fast and Furious, which gave carte
Yes,
blanche to the Sinaloa cartel.
that's right.
The Sinaloa cartel had carte blanche, and they said keep your shit in Chicago, and I think it was like one other place, but Chicago was primarily where they said they could, operate, and that's where all the cartel, well, not
Yeah.
all, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, that's how primary operations for like the fentanyl running from Canada. Like a lot of it was coming through the Canadian border into Chicago area and northeastern states, which I thought was wild. That and of course
Wait,
Northwest.
do you think the fentanyl was coming from China through the Canadian border or coming from Canada?
Um, it was probably coming from both because they were taking routes into South America and they were taking routes into Canada. And
Mm.
then there was a South American to Canada. I don't know how they were doing any of that. Like there has to be like a good level of coordination and paid off officials through the Canadian border because there was so much fentanyl coming through there. And we know where it's produced. The majority of it's produced in China. We had a
Is it?
massive problem. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was produced at Langley.
Well, the never, never. No, no, no. We are above board over here. We are protecting the American people's interests abroad. All right. That's we would never do anything. We would never have anything to do with untoward drug smuggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keisha
We're
said Bay Area is full of illegal Chinese, so of course it got canceled. Oh shit. Yo, I'm telling you something. California's a strange place. If I go to Miami and I order an Uber, my driver can't speak English, but they can speak Spanish. So I can communicate with them, right? We go to Cali, I can't communicate with them because they all Chinamen. All of them. You ever got an Uber out in Cali?
yes.
They not all Chinamen?
I'm in Southern California. They all speak
Oh.
Spanish. Yeah. No,
You in
I'm I'm in
SoCal.
SoCal. I'm actually in the nice areas. Like we don't have to dodge, piles of shit in the street, and we don't have fentanyl zombies where we are down here.
Where was I? I forget where I was.
Chad says we live in Chinanada up here. Chinata. Oh man.
That's
I like
nasty
that.
work, bro. Chinata.
I'm sorry.
Out of control, out of pocket, sir. They cleaned up the Bay Area for China and now canceled ICE for China. Oh, yeah, when they brought the Chinese leader over here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Streets got clean real quick up there, huh? Newsome knew exactly what he was doing.
Mhm.
He's like,
Mhm.
"Oh
Better
yeah,
clean
come
up.
on over. We
You
need
got
we need you to buy more of our farmland, and we need you to create buy and operate more of these weed farms out here that you infect with all the pesticides. That's yeah, come on through."
Yeah, that's why I don't understand. Like people say, "Oh, China's our enemy." I'm like, nigga, China might be one of our closest allies, bro. Like, America runs on China. If we went to war with China, it would be a wrap for us. Okay, they own like we would shut down. Like you wouldn't get any of your products anymore. You probably might get toilet paper and milk. Toilet paper and milk is the only thing. Everything else that's in Walmart. I remember I used to protest Walmart outside of Walmart when I was an activist. And my research turned up like 90% of the products on Walmart shelves were from China.
Oh yeah,
God damn.
Target, Walmart, all of them.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Yep.
nigga, we can't go to war with China.
Well, we became middle management. That in the world stage, we were just a bunch of middle management people, and then that was borne out in tech. Of course, it's cutting back with all these different layoffs in the past 5 years, getting rid of all that middle management. But honestly, the tariff and trade situation and the investment, like Trump just came out and was boasting about by the end of this year, he's expecting 20 trillion in investment in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
If they can actually build out the infrastructure here for AI and robotics manufacturing, we actually have a check on China. The problem is they've been buying all of our damn land. That is actually the biggest problem because they've been buying farmland like crazy.
Yeah.
Them and Bill Gates,
Yeah.
and they've been doing some real shitty stuff when it comes to pest control and that kind of stuff, which is bleeds over into the health conversation. And here in California, I don't know if you know this, but in California, they own a lot of the land that the legalized marijuana is grown on, and
Mm.
they use a lot of pesticides. They use like these burn bags that fill up the greenhouses with smoke to get rid of all the pests. And this is now it's getting that with the open air greenhouses or the covered greenhouses and even indoor facilities. They own a ton of it out here.
Wow.
They came through and bought private ops all over the place. So yeah, they got a lock on it.
Mm.
By the way, that's grow your own weed in legal states if you can.
Don't do drugs, kids. Do not do drugs.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Or just don't smoke weed.
Yeah. Well, weed is a drug. We do not suggest weed. Weed is bad for you. This is highly toxic, dangerous substance. Keisha asks, when were you an activist? Man, I used to go to I used to go to New York City, and I used to go to the Nation of Islam and like pro African American. This was before it went woke. And it was like super like black conservative, like the Black Panther Party. I used to go to all of that shit in New York. And then I was doing like a lot of research online. So I called myself like, it was funny. It was crazy as hell because my dumb ass, I was a complete fucking moron. So I found out all the evil things about Walmart, right? So I print up these flyers, I get them Xerox. I got like 100 copies in my hand, and I'm standing outside Walmart passing out flyers about how bad Walmart is to people. And then some kid from my high school sees me. He goes inside and he snitches on me. He takes one of my papers, says what's up, goes inside, and snitches on me. Then the cops pull up. They like, yeah, you got a permit? I'm like, nah, I ain't got no permit. It's me by myself, by the way. Just by myself. I'm outside. And
Man.
yeah, I was a fucking dweeb.
That's man. I don't condone violence, but snitches get stitches, bro. Like,
You get stitches, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
In my younger days, that was the refrain. I'm old now, so I'm an old little puppet. Um, I don't condone violence, peaceful protests. And if you're going to snitch, you'll just get what's coming to you later.
Yeah.
Karma.
Shut up, Keisha. It's not cute. We'll be right back. Let's talk to Peasy. Peasy.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Yeah, Keisha, those are the days where we actually cared. We're like, oh, we're trying to help the world be a better place. We can save the world. And now I'm like, man, fuck that, nigga. I'm trying to get some money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to Walmart tomorrow and pick something up. Don't give a shit anymore. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our favorite puppet, Landy. Bitcoin surges to 111,000K. Optimism ahead of the U.S.-China presidential meeting sends Bitcoin soaring. Landy, you optimistic on this Bitcoin meeting? I mean, this China meeting with Trump.
Yeah, I think they're going to work something out. Look, Xi Jinping is a very smart guy, and he is a tough negotiator. But Trump is one of the toughest negotiators in the game, and he knows that. And there is more incentive to get a deal done for both nations than not. And I do mean for both nations, because every time something crops up within the tariff side, we're just getting the American perspective, but it's hurting China as well.
Absolutely.
So I think they'll get something done.
Tell me if I'm wrong here. You know, people like to say, oh, you know, the China war. And I'm like, this is just business negotiations. Isn't that a good way to explain it? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Okay. And I don't think, look, there needs to be changes on both sides. This has been an overwhelmingly China dominant environment when it comes to supply chains for a long time. And this spans all the way back to, what really accelerated it was the Clinton administration. Really kind of turbocharged it, but it was already kind of on that path. And I think, we need that realignment when giving up being a manufacturing powerhouse like we were. We gave it up for the inflationary model and middle management model, so we could rest on our laurels and be the financial hub and the management hub of the world. And it just doesn't work that way unless you're constantly going to war. You have to keep going to war.
Yeah.
And you have to keep resource gathering and dealing on that end of things, because you've given up a big part of your hand, right? And if you're going to not go to war, then you have to have that realignment start to shift back. And I'm in favor of no more war. I think that Trump is doing a good job in that department. I know it's not as fast as people want it to be, but then you also have to start bringing manufacturing back. You got to get your edge back, or else we're dead in the water.
We are winning the AI arms race, which is probably the best news this year.
Yeah, but we're losing the energy race.
Because of the rare earth materials?
No, and energy production, right?
Really?
And yeah, we're way behind China in energy production.
Really?
And yeah, we're running like so far behind them at this point that realistically the way to catch up is to start firing up nuclear again, because it's the cleanest, safest energy on the planet, and we can do it pretty instantly, because it takes time to get mining operations here in the United States and Anwar and everything up and running. And instead of doing that right now, part of the deals have been struck in like Ukraine for rare earth materials, right? Which is one of the other richest places on earth for rare earth materials, which is why it's such a valuable, why there's been a war there, to be honest with you, and why there was a coup there, and why all of that shit happened is because of energy and rare earth. Hey, I can say it. I can say it. Look, I mean, look, if the boss calls me into the office at Langley, I'll take the woodshed beaten, right? But this is we know what's going on, and we have plenty of oil, we have plenty of rare earth materials, but a lot of that stuff is on federal lands that are protected, that we can give out contracts for, that then there's all the climate crap that got in the way of it. And realistically, we just got to do it. We got to do it ourselves, and we got to make deals for it in the nations that we're supporting, and we'll be fine. And we need nuclear, and that actually ties into Bitcoin and AI and everything else that's on the horizon. So we're going to be a powerhouse in that regard, but there's a lot of red tape internally to parse through, and China knows that, which is why they're giving us the squeeze of the balls right now.
Pause. Jesus Christmas. Oh my God. Wait, hold on a second.
Nuclear does not take forever to set up. It's the red
It
tape
doesn't?
problem. No, you can spin up nuclear in 18 months.
Oh, I found it. I found it. Wait, hold on. Oh, I found mine. Oh, I figured it out. I figured it out. Hold on. Let me edit it. Cause it's not Leslie. Shout out to Leslie. I miss Leslie. Yeah, we can leave it at, yeah, there we go. I found my lower third, yo. I've been looking for this shit for 2 weeks now.
There you go.
We did it, y'all. It saved my name on the bottom of the screen now. Nuclear doesn't take forever to set up.
No,
Coach gets
No,
his information from third parties. He don't be looking up
it's
shit.
the red tape that gets in the way of setting up nuclear. That is the biggest problem.
Cleveland Cliffs just found lithium in Minnesota. Really?
Yep.
Wow. Minnesota about to be caked up.
Well,
What up, Jack?
Minnesota's kind of a mess right now, so hopefully they can vote the right way and get on the right path.
Tell me about it. Oh, we need Royce White in there ASAP.
Yes.
So what energy stocks are you looking at right now?
Oh man, it runs the gamut. I don't have any off the top of my head right now, but
I got Oklo.
few plays. Yes.
Oklo is looking juicy.
So I like a lot of energy that's been doing deals with AI and Bitcoin miners.
Right.
And there's a few companies, I don't know them off the top of my head, as I don't regularly trade them, but I do hold them.
Mhm.
One of the really cool things that's happening with Bitcoin is a lot of Bitcoin miners, both on grid and off grid mining. Off grid is really efficient, by the way, because they can make deals directly with power providers. Whereas the bigger mining operations usually have these, power plant agreements that they have to work out that have already been done and locked in years ago.
Mhm.
Then they have to renegotiate. But a lot of Bitcoin miners are supplementing with AI
Yep.
mining or AI infrastructure, I should say, and that requires a lot of power, right? And Bitcoin miners can offset the cost for them in that regard. So this is a beautiful marrying of many different industries. In fact, I saw Caden here under the Wolf Bitcoin account. He has a lot of good conversations about this kind of stuff with Bitcoin focused stuff. Knows a lot of people that are actually in that industry and working on that stuff in the mining sector. I can't talk too much about it because I am
Mhm.
under some NDAs in regards to energy and Bitcoin mining. And in the state of California, I'm working on some things that hopefully we'll be able to talk about soon and when it comes to legislation.
This white privilege is out of control.
I know, right?
How do you have your tentacles on everything? You got nuclear energy, mining, Bitcoin.
Oh, I don't know.
CME.
I ain't the nuclear energy guy, but I can tell you that I know guys who are in the mining sector that, there's still nuclear out here in California that are working with power providers in California on the mining side of things, but it's not very attractive to mine in California. It's very expensive.
Mm. Mm. Coach said exactly what I was saying about nuclear. It's not the process itself, but the EPA and federal regulations that hinders it. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Coach. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So he knows his shit. He knows
Yeah,
his shit.
Langley. There, Landy is Langley, yo. He's got connections. He talking to Gavin Newsom to get authorization, NDAs. This is out of control. You know, Landy might be the guy that got CZ pardoned. Trump's clemency for Chang Peng Zhao ignites talks of conflicts of interest in crypto regulations. Shout out to CZ. He's a free nigga now. He's a free nigga walking. Are you
Hell
happy
yeah.
about that?
Hell yeah. Look, he got wrapped up on some bullshit.
Yeah, he did.
That's some
I'm
bullshit.
pissed off because somebody fucked up my bags because I don't even know where my BNB is, yo. BNB is trading at like $85,000 right now or something, and I can't find my BNB.
Wait. What? You can't find the wallet it's in?
Correct.
Oh no.
And because here's what happened, right? Binance got kicked out of the United States.
Yes.
So they sent an email out like, yo, get your assets off, just in case.
Mhm.
Right. So I don't know. I know I traded some of my coins in for Bitcoin. Like I just swapped them. So
Mhm.
I like swapped everything for Bitcoin and then just moved that Bitcoin off the exchange. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I traded my BNB for Bitcoin. So I gotta look. There's one more wallet I haven't checked. I gotta check that wallet and see if there's BNB in there. Because if I got some BNB in there, we going to Sizzler, baby. We going to Olive Garden, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's up.
Yo, what I was gonna say, like you can log into those accounts still and look at your history, your transactional history for Binance
Oh, you're
US.
right. You're right. I could
Yeah, so
check
you
my
can like
transaction history and see, but this was so long ago. Will it be there?
it should be. I don't know what their record retention was. I know that
Right.
if it was on Binance,
US.
Binance.com, if it was Binance US, it should have some records there still on
It
your
was
transfers
It was
for your account.
Binance US. All right, I'm gonna have to log into my Binance account and see if I can track down what I did with that BNB.
You might as well. It might be approved here in the United States again
It
pretty
is
soon.
approved here. Binance got approved when Trump came back.
Okay, it is. I haven't even looked.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still use I still use the other Binance.
.com.
Yes.
Okay. Matter of fact. Okay, so wait, is that what happened? Like I had to go from Binance.com to Binance US, and then
Well,
what? I can't remember what happened.
yeah, both were technically it. You were supposed to be using Binance US if you were in
Right.
the US. You weren't supposed to be using Binance.com.
Okay.
And then Binance US was on the outs, so they basically said like, look, we're going to run into regulatory problems. You might want to move. What many of us did is we just moved Binance US stuff over to wallets that were with Binance, but then they started cutting off the ability to get into that Binance account unless unless you know people.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
But
go
cold
look.
storage is always the way.
Cold storage?
Cold storage is always the way.
What's cold storage?
That is hardware wallets that you have in your possession with
Why
your
is that
keys.
better than paper?
Because not your keys, not your coin. That exchange, I mean, just look at FTX. Goes down, your money's gone, and you have to wait for it to come back.
Oh, you're saying off the exchange.
Yeah, off the exchange into a hardware wallet.
But
Yeah.
you could go paper.
I mean, you go paper technically, but if there's ever a fire or anything like that, you want something that's got your keys, like whether it's a piece of metal or along with like an air gapped device of some sort for
Yeah.
extra approval, especially because, the more popular this gets, the more scams there's going to be. We've already seen plenty this cycle of trying to drain wallets in various ways.
Mhm.
I'm sure you get the text messages and all the other crap that's about crypto. Like, hey, we're trying to see if you approve this transaction on your Coinbase account. Thankfully, they're doing something about that. But, you get that with all of it. And if you got your own hardware wallets, that's where the majority of your holdings should be. Paper is fine. That's your keys. But if that's, if those keys are also the same keys that are on a centralized exchange, which they don't give you the keys to, so that wouldn't be
Right.
the case.
Yeah, you'll be cooked. Yeah.
Or if it's a hot wallet and there's some sort of problem with the hot wallets, or you click on the wrong thing,
Yeah.
there's no barrier to stop it from transferring. And if you have a hardware wallet, most of them will interact with your hot wallets.
I think I'm down about anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 in Bitcoin lost on an exchange.
Which one?
Prime Trust.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Did they ever do a settlement?
Yeah.
But it
But
was like cash balance or something?
so the way they settled that, I don't know when we're getting paid, but basically what they said was they're going to take everybody's the total amount and pay everybody out evenly
What?
in
What?
cash. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No. Oh my God. That's ridiculous. That's why you don't want the majority of your holdings, you want to keep them off exchanges. I don't
I
care
had
how much you trust them. Yeah.
I had about $20,000 worth of Bitcoin on the exchange, and the week before Prime Trust got hit, my intuition said, "Yo, go get your shit off the exchange." And I just, you just like bullshit, and you're like, "Ah, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it." The very next week, I got the email. Your
Ugh.
Bitcoin has been seized. I'm like, oh shit. So that Bitcoin right now is worth about $30,000 to $40,000.
Ugh. That's painful, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'll benefit? No, I don't think I'll benefit. I'm probably like one of the highest holders. I'm probably in the top 10% of holders of Bitcoin in the Prime Trust. Because most
That's rough.
people are small accounts.
Yeah, they weren't doing like huge whale business over there.
Yeah.
There was maybe a couple, but there wasn't like a ton. They didn't even really do a lot of volume. But yeah,
Right.
they got wrapped hard. And that's the problem. Like you don't want to get this is anywhere, and I don't care how I don't care if it's Coinbase, I don't care if it's Binance, I don't care what exchange it is. I don't care if it's being held, but if it's not being held by you, it ain't yours.
It ain't yours. It's just consider it confiscatable.
Yep.
If you don't got it in your wallet, consider it confiscatable. Shutdown continues across the U.S. Federal workers remain furloughed as the budget standoff drags into another week. The government shutdown, is this a good thing for us particularly? A good thing, bad thing? How do you view this whole situation?
I'll give you the market perspective. Every government shutdown, the market is pumped, and when it reopens, the market dumps back out. But you know what I like about this shutdown? Is
What?
Trump is eating up the airwaves. He is on TV every day doing meetings and just hammering on the Democrats, and then also getting the rest of his policy together, meeting with leaders and getting shit done. Like this is I'm fine
Huge
with it.
opportunity for him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, nobody's working? Perfect. Let me wild out.
Yeah, the problem here is that there are actual regular everyday people who work for the federal government that aren't getting paychecks. That's the
Right.
problem. And
Yeah.
Congress is still getting paid. Fuck Congress. You shouldn't be getting paid if you're going to keep this shit shut down. Why the hell are you getting a paycheck? Take their pay away. Watch how fast it reopens.
I agree. They definitely should not be getting paid. If the government shut down, how is Congress getting paid? That don't make no sense. Who's cutting the checks?
Exactly.
That makes absolutely no sense. I think this is the second longest shutdown in government history.
It is, yeah. This is,
Yeah.
and it's probably going to go at least first week in November, right? Isn't that what they're projecting?
Yeah. I mean, that's next week.
Yeah, it is next week. Yeah, well, we got one more week to go. Yeah,
And they're not even close, I don't think.
No, and the Democrats are sabotaging it, even when they had the chance to vote to give pay to federal workers. They sabotaged that. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, Chucky, what are you doing? I remember when he used to talk like a sane human being. a sane person. If you go back into the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, he actually talked like a sane human being. Now he's completely captured and completely puppeted around. You think I'm the puppet up here? Man, I'm going to send this PFP to Chucky Schumer. He is the CIA puppet at this point.
Everybody lost their mind after 2016. I don't know what happened. No clue what happened.
Trump happened.
Yeah, they cut my EBT SNAP benefits off. It's ugly out here for a Hotep. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible out here, bro. So hopefully, I get my benefits back soon. You know what I mean? I went from $1,000, now I got $100 in EBT benefits. It's tough. It's tough, man. So I need some investing advice for you. When is Bitcoin gonna do the next breakout?
Oh, well, that's a complex conversation.
Is it? Why is it a complex conversation?
Well, there's it's that if you adhere to cycle timing, we're in that Q4 to Q1 where a cycle top would typically come in, right? And look, it's the cycle is on until we pass Q1 into Q2 of next year. If we are still in bull market structure, then we're in lengthening cycle territory. That's where we can really start to look at those longer term timeframes and say, you know what? This might be reminiscent of the gold ETF, right? This might be reminiscent of that multi-year bull market with longer periods of consolidation in between. And not really a real quote unquote bear market. Now, people often forget that after gold ETFs launched, there was a 2-year bear market in between that 12-year span. But you look at the overall structure, it was just up and to the right. And now gold is doing that same thing. In fact, it's on a yearly breakout. And Bitcoin priced in gold, or gold priced in Bitcoin, is actually down to 2021 top levels, right? We haven't really moved past that, and it's been gold's time to shine. So congratulations to Peter Schiff. But the correction, Bitcoin went up 410 million% versus gold. And so there's a little bit of consolidation that needs to happen for Bitcoin. It will catch up purely on fundamentals alone, because of the decreased emissions and the decreased circulating supply with the increased desire to get Bitcoin from institutional investors and retail and everyone else. So Bitcoin's going to be fine longer term, but I'm not one that's going to sit here and tell you that the bull market's going to continue all the way through next year into the end of 2026 until we see the actual structural breakout on a monthly time frame that will point to that. And we're past the cycle timing of Q4 to Q1 of next year for a cycle top. So the door is open for Bitcoin to continue to be in a very bullish market and bull market structure and continue to rip to the upside. But it's not going to be confirmed until we see it push past that time period, which I put towards the end of Q1.
Let's put this up on the screen. We got the Bitcoin chart right here.
Yep.
How do
Can you share mine? Do you see mine? Because I think I'm sharing mine here as well.
Let's use yours.
Because I got
what candle is that?
This is the daily.
Go to the weekly. I want to show you something.
Yes.
Zoom all the way out.
Yep.
A little bit more. Little bit more. Don't squeeze it up. Don't squeeze it up like you just did. Don't do that. So if you, stretch it out more. If you look, we got right here, there we go. If you look at the consolidation periods, they last like this first consolidation here on the left, right there. No, that one. You see that one? Not that one, the one to the next one. The one to the right.
Well, we have this area here
right
for consolidation in 2019 to 2020.
Right. How long is that? That's several months, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then what's the next consolidation period?
The next consolidation period. So this was essentially, you could call it higher low structure in the macro, right? that resolved, after 483 days.
Mhm.
The next major consolidation, was because this technically there was shorter periods of consolidation, drop, and then the move gets rolling, and then we had the big COVID crash, right?
Mhm.
And then we bounced off of it. I wouldn't consider this a weekly consolidation. What I would actually consider this is a monthly consolidation, because if you look at the
Mm.
monthly, we went from, if I'm going to bring up the index chart here.
Mhm.
So if you look at Bitcoin's total history here, and you
Mhm.
can see, and the reason why I'm going to zoom out here is because you see that we have these bands that drop straight off the bottom of the screen.
Mhm.
Those are expansion periods, right?
Mhm.
So what we have here is the first Bitcoin consolidation actually was post 2011 high. And this was an entire bull market, from the inception of Bitcoin all the way up, higher low, and then all the way up into 2013. This was a long bull market. We had a period of consolidation in between, right? And in fact, we consolidated, and you see the squeeze and the Bollinger Band set for volatility here. And then we kicked off the next leg. So we didn't have any information prior to that, right? For 20 months. And then we went into a very long period of consolidation that many termed a bear market. But structurally, this was a bull market all the way through. There was a lower high, higher low, higher low structure all the way through till we hit the top in 2013. Then we went through a very long bear market period of consolidation,
Mhm.
and then the big explosion.
Mhm.
We had the bear market in 18 through 2019 into 2020, right?
Mhm.
Consolidation, breakout to the upside.
Mhm.
And then we had a structural change for Bitcoin in terms of consolidation periods, because we had the big bull market, the double top, and then we got initial expansion to the downside. And then we mean reverted and consolidated right here in 23, and then started the upside trek, right? For the
Mhm.
bull market structure. And we actually started to get expansion, but now we're back in consolidation. In fact, we started to reconsolidate after the first big drop. So we went to 73,835 here. This was the new all-time high prior to the halving.
Mhm.
And then we actually went back into, since that, we've been in a consolidation the entire
Right.
time, just sideways and up, right? But
Right.
it's consolidating with kind of the infinite bid coming from the spot ETF side that's keeps picking up the low and keeping the bull market structure. This is where on the weekly, I actually have something interesting to show you, because the bulls actually have a setup here on the weekly. And I showed a little bit of this in my Friday wrap up video that came out just before we started the live stream for the recap here, right? The weekly that we're in right now is a consolidation period.
Right.
So even just in the local period, when this looks like a balloon animal, or like a balloon dog to me, but we had a big run up, or a big expansion, right? So we have the bear market lows over here. We have the turnaround structure, and then consolidation, right? This is where we were at $20,000. We had just dipped below. Everybody got scared right around just below 20K.
Mhm.
And then we went into this long spring to summer consolidation in 2023.
Okay.
And then we got expansion, right? So we got expansion of price. We went on a run, and then we consolidated again. So if you look at these periods of consolidation, which I think are more relevant to this bull market, we started to consolidate kind of right around here, and then resolve right around here. So the band started to get closed back up, right? So we peaked and started to close right around here. So and the band started to curl back up. So we had about 210 days of consolidation. Um, and then we look at the next big period where the bands started to do this sideways and up consolidation, re-expansion. We'll take the second consolidation right off that high until the breakout, 224 days. We got another big expansion, and then a mean reversion to a consolidation now. And we've been
How many
basically
days is that?
consolidating. We've basically been consolidating since this high at 112.
So what? How many days has passed since that?
So this is about 154 days. so
So
far.
we got another 50 or plus days left before the next big boom.
Maybe
If it were to follow that trend, right?
if it were to
200 plus
follow,
days.
yeah, if it were to follow the trend from the most recent expansion, because we got this compression and then
Mhm.
we started to expand again, and we didn't really tick up to compression again until right here, which is when we made the high at 123, and
Mhm.
that'd be 98 days, right?
Okay.
So
So we really
this,
got 100 something days left.
but I don't really subscribe to the times, the time. A lot of people pull time fibs and
Okay.
like seasonality and stuff
Yeah.
because the setup is really simple here.
Mhm.
We have a very nice compression.
Okay.
All it would take is a close below the lower second
Mhm.
for an expansion into this support area, because right now we're sitting on this support. And I actually have a chart for you that's already pre-made here on the on Coinbase over here for spot price action, because it's a little bit cleaner on Coinbase.
Mhm.
And let me see here. I made the folder weekly zones. So here's what's interesting about this. So first off, I want to call out some pretty interesting stuff here. So we're going to expand this just for a moment,
Okay.
and I'm going to get rid of all of this for just a moment and turn on one thing, the fib retracement levels.
Mhm.
So Fibonacci retracements, you can just take them as percentages. This is a Fibonacci retracement from the prior bull high at the one spot. So $69,000 to the $15,500 low. And essentially all of these numbers you can think of as percentages. So like coming off of it, that's the 236 or 23.6% level, the 32.8%, the 50%, the 61.8%, 786, 888, so on and so forth. When you start
Mhm.
getting above $69,000, I have this handy little area of interest called extensions. So this
Mhm.
is $69,000 plus 16.8% is at right around $89,000. When we blasted off past $69,000 on closes on this weekly, we pushed up to the 1272, which is 27.2% above $69,000. We broke down below and then hit the 89, and then came right back up and got above the 1272. Next
Mm.
big level overhead is the 1414 or 41.4% above $69,000. Just really simple work in percentages.
Mhm.
We haven't hit that yet, but what did we just come back and retest? We just retested the 27.2% or 1272 at 103.5, that big sell off.
Mhm.
Now, why this is important is because this is occurring right around some major weekly levels of interest. So if I turn on support and resistance here, which is really, really simple stuff. So we'll turn that on. And the bulls have a really interesting opportunity ahead of them. And I want to call something out here. When we saw the highs after the big expansion here, we saw that 108 and a half high, and then we saw a higher low come in, and then we saw a higher high, right? At 109,
Mhm.
right? So we saw a nice higher high in the weekly, but there was one thing that said caution. We saw a lower high close. So we saw a higher high in the swing up here. So, but we
Okay.
saw a lower high close. This was a
Mhm.
caution here that we were probably going to mean revert and come back down as we come out of this expansion into compression. We got exactly that. It bounced off the bottom side of the compression, even tried to hit the prior highs over here from the prior structure, right? So it came down
Okay.
and it got front run above the area that it broke out from before,
Mhm.
right? It comes up, we make new highs at 112, but we hadn't yet closed above the 109 area, right? But we
Mhm.
made new highs. So it comes off the lows here after testing this area down here, comes right back up to these highs, settles in, puts in a higher low, and then goes for it. Now, what is it doing? Coming back and retesting these highs, retest again. So the bulls have an interesting setup here because if it's going to be a bullish scenario in this compression here, they have protection to the downside, because if you get it below the lower second here and this high on a close, we can get expansion into another big area of support, right? This area of support just happens to be right on some weekly closes right here as well. And that's right around 98 to 101. But if we see that closed below, what will happen is we will initiate expansion to the next area on the weekly, which would be these lows over here at 93.5, 89, and then 86, and then so on and so forth. Then we're looking for 80 and 78, so on and so forth, right? On an expansion because we're in a compression. That would be the bearish scenario. But I wanted to point this out. If you look here, like I said, we had a higher high close and a higher high swing. We went into a higher low, had a higher high close, lower high swing. What do we have over here going on right now, the possible setup? If we zoom in pretty close here on the weekly, we have a lower low, but the potential to close a higher low, right? We have the last closing higher low is right here, but we have the potential for the bulls to put that lower low in, bait the bears. That's called bear bait, right? This was bull bait over here, higher high, but a lower high close. This would be lower low with a higher low close if they can get above right around 114 to 115. If they can do that, that's nice bear bait. That targets right back to the top side here. Where what do we need for the next big run?
Wait. Explain that last part again.
Okay, so this is really important. The setup, if
No,
it's
just
going
that last line with the with that last candle. What happened with that last candle?
So right here, where we are now, we have a lower low in place,
right,
on a swing.
Yeah,
but there's the potential. You see that this close open right here, if this holds, is above the last higher low close open. So we have a lower low, higher low setup. So a lower low swing with a higher low close. If the bulls want to close this and really run things to the upside, they have to close above this week's candle. As it stands right now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
This weekly is still open, right?
Right.
So technically for this week to do it and confirm a higher low, it would have to close above 116, which was last week's high.
Okay,
but
I got you.
Let's say it closes like this and this is the high. The bulls need to maintain this close right here. The 108,670 and stay above this last close for this setup to actually be viable, and then close above. I would say I'm not expecting this weekend to pump above 116. So wherever this weekly high is right now, it's at 114. If next week's candle can close above it, that would be a higher low close with a lower low swing. That's called bear bait. And this was bull bait over here. Higher high, lower high close. This would be
that's bear bait.
This was bull
that's
bait.
Bull bait, right? That's bear bait.
This
over
would be
here.
bear bait.
Right.
And this is where we could very easily see if the bulls can start closing back above this last weekly. This is a lower high right here.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If they can close back above this lower high, they can run the top side again. And that's where the bullish scenario can come into play potentially. Now, this is all like if they can do it, if they can close a higher low close with this lower low in place, run the top side and start closing above the upper second, then they can get expansion to the all-time high. The shorts have no cover, right? They don't have structural cover outside of right here at like 119.5, 120 to the all-time high at around 126. They start losing their cover the higher the price goes, and they have to reposition higher. If we see it close above the upper second and the all-time high at 126, that's expansion on the weekly to the upside. So this scenario, the bulls have a chance here, and we need to see this chance likely play out in the next week or two in order for them to lock in maintain the close down here. Don't close any lower than this right now.
Right.
And then lock that in and then run the top side. That's got to happen in the next couple of weeks here. And then they have the potential to run the highs. Yeah, this is the weekly. And I can send you this chart, by the way, in the chats. And it's in my video as well.
I see it here. I see it here. Yeah.
So
look at my levels. You want to see my levels?
Yeah, go ahead. Show me. Let's switch it up.
My levels is kind of accurate. I'm looking at yours. Like, I think he got the same levels I got. You see my levels?
Let's see. Oh, yeah. You got it. So you've got, You got the low in there. Yep. You got today's. Yep. Yeah, you're right around the same area. In fact, you got the 113 263, which is the weekly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it on there. Yep.
Yeah. Ha.
Hotep,
Yep.
you're a genius.
Got
HotepJesus.com.
it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The Wolf of Hotep.
Yeah, you got right around the weekly, and that's derivatives. So derivatives are going to look a little different, by the way. Derivatives dumped all the way out to like 102,
Oh,
right?
shit.
And then spot caught up and went back and tested where derivatives was, right? Because on the initial move down on that Friday,
Mhm.
you'll see here on spot price, that Friday we had derivatives. Derivatives were way down here, but spot stopped at 107 and then
Mm.
closed all the way back up here. Right.
Mhm.
If we look at a derivatives chart for Bitcoin, like let's say Binance, let's go to crypto. We'll go to one of the I don't know. We'll just grab any one of them. What is this? This is Bitstamp. Bitstamp actually held up better because nobody does any kind of trading over there anymore. We'll go to Bybit. Bybit's fine. But you see how far Bybit went down? They're at
Yeah.
102 versus, this level, they went all the way to 102, right?
Mm.
And then this past 2 weeks, they only went to 103 and a half and then 106, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at spot, we saw here, spot didn't go initially down because
Right.
we saw a big leverage wipeout, big open interest wipeout for
Yeah.
derivatives. So it hit 107 and then went and filled at 103 and a half.
Right.
And then now we're back at the 106, level here on the lows.
Yeah.
We're now trading back above to 111. So we got essentially the spot fill of where derivatives went. So we
Mhm.
had the retest of the lows. In this case, it was a lower low for spot price. And spot price is king, by the way. For anybody in derivatives markets, if you don't understand this, why was there such a washout in derivatives? Oh, it's Binance fault. Man, it was everywhere. Okay,
Mhm.
it was not just Binance. Everybody got liquidated in those markets if they were long. All those stops and liquidations got hit. It skipped your stop and hit your liquidation, didn't even fill you on your stop because of the way that the oracles were catching up. The oracles and indexers were catching up with price. That's why it hit your liquidation and skipped your stop,
Mm.
right? Because the AMM didn't have enough liquidities. They didn't have enough liquidity across all these different centralized exchanges. And you don't have this central hub for liquidity. There's
Right.
only so many market makers here. So you just got stopped when those oracles and indexers updated. You got liquidated out of your positions. But if you were in spot markets, yeah, the sell-off hit, but it was not nearly as brutal. And it got picked up way quicker. But
Mhm.
then this also happened on a Friday and then occurred, the rest of it kind of playing out over a weekend. That left all traditional market players on the sidelines. So what are they going to do? They're going to round it down and get their fills, right? So that's exactly what happened in the next week. And last week's candle is on the spot side, everybody's rounded down and getting their fills and now pumping it back up. And we saw the high side come in right to this low on the weekly, right? Just perfect spike into this close open over here.
Mhm.
And now it's all about, can the bulls complete the setup? Can we bear bait, get the closing higher low, and then run the top side and potentially start closing above the all-time high in the upper second and go on a run? Because
So
then we can cook hard.
so Markel says, what is the catalyst?
As the catalyst is bids. There is no news. Show me the chart and I'll tell you there's going to be some cool news coming up. But the catalyst, likely what you're going to see for markets, right? Markets don't care about the news because markets are typically hedged both directions, right? So the news just means I'm going to let one side go essentially, right? So if I'm reaching out and working with a market making firm, right, and I've taken out massive long positions in the crypto markets, in traditional markets, and I got I can reach out to many different players in the game and
Right.
hedge on the other side. And then if the news is, oh, China Trump deal goes through, I'm just letting the short side go and letting my long side win. But if it's, oh no, there's no deal, well then I'm going to let the spot side go and ride the shorts down, right? That's how these things work, and it's just a matter of who's playing with too much leverage, right? So it's not the news that really matters, but I think that the catalyst would be like positive news is going to help. but you're probably going to see lower term time frame volatility. Next week we have FOMC though, so there's tariff negotiations. There's FOMC. We just had options expirations, so there's liquidity sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what to do as well. Because third week of every month, today was options expiration day.
Right.
So we're going to have liquidity rolling over into the new month, prepping for the new month. So this news is going to dictate, kind of where fills get filled to the upside or the downside.
Right.
What do you think? Rate cut, Hotep?
Quarter.
You think it's gonna be a quarter? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I think that the 2024 job revisions, which by the way, everybody was saying, look at Trump's economy sucks. Did you not notice that those job revisions were for the year 2024 and he wasn't actually president? There was an auto ban in office.
Yeah.
So that's why it looks like shit, because we're actually seeing sector job growth in certain areas. But you can't make up for the freaking bloated bullshit that was going on in 2024 coming into the election.
Right.
So I'm a little opinionated on that one. I hated seeing
so
that shit.
What do you think the market's going to do after we get our quarter cut then next year? I mean, next week.
If it gets a quarter cut, I could see liquidity taking advantage of that. With this liquidity rollover and trying to bid that side. But typically, there's some other traders that I talk to that have pointed out some really, really good instances of usually the first move after Powell starts speaking, the first move after the initial announcement, and then Powell starts speaking is typically the real move.
Right.
Like last time it was down. Right. And we took a dive. Right.
Yeah.
That was the real move, even though it bounced hard.
The
real move was to the downside. I think we're not going to know until that day closes.
Okay.
The opportunity is there for the bulls, but what does make me think that there might be some early moves to the downside is look at that gap up in equities, man. Look at this gap. Look at this gap in NASDAQ. Look at this big old green candle. This actually looks pretty good for Dow, believe it or not. I like that actually. This points to continuation, but it didn't get it. It rejected off of, it closed right on the upper second, but this is new all-time highs, increasing volatility. I could see volatility back to the downside before the rate decisions and then a move back up. If we see price coming into the event to the downside and it bounces during that event, I think that's the move. Right, because lower term timeframes are kind of cooked to the upside here. I know it's got room. Shit, man, this has got room. How strong? Look at how strong this is.
What's that? What's that?
SPY.
That's SPY. Okay.
Yep. This is SPY. This is NASDAQ. This is Dow. They still have room to run.
Today is that the daily?
This is the 4 hour. We can look at the daily.
Hour?
Yeah, if you look at the daily.
Yeah, we got the gap up because the CPI numbers was soft today.
Yeah. So we had the nice gap.
We got the nice gap. Pre-market. It was an 8:30 meeting, so we got the pre-market. Yeah.
Yeah, pre-market pushed it up. And this is in expansion territory. So this when you break a new all-time high, look, I know people get bearish about like, oh, you can't possibly keep going, liquidity cycles. Well, it's when you make a new all-time high and you're on a breakout, it's not unusual to see it keep going. It's like it would actually be what would be bearish is seeing this come all the way down and break structure, right? For NASDAQ, for instance, below 24,652.
Yeah,
that would be the bearish scenario,
right?
But if FOMC, if we get a pullback that fills the gaps before FOMC, I could see things pumping and keeping going to the upside. I like the risk environment too, because we have what I like to use to gauge risk. I think I've told you this kind of little cheat sheet to gauge risk in the bond. You take a look at the bond market and stuff like that, right?
No.
Treasuries? No. Okay. I've got a little cheat sheet for you. Okay. Add LQD and HYG to your chart.
Hold on a second.
This is BlackRock. This is corporate bonds.
Okay, corporate bonds. Okay. LQD and what was the other one?
HYG.
Okay.
So we're gonna ride with the BlackRock players, right? You
Okay.
might as well watch what the big money's doing out there. By the way,
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
you can hate the player, but don't hate the game.
Okay.
Uh, look, LQD is investment grade bonds in the corporate sector.
What? Oh, you want a
So
daily? Okay.
on the daily, yeah, you can go daily, weekly, whatever you'd like.
I'm on a daily now.
I
Okay.
just want you to have it on your chart
Yeah,
because
I'm
this is
looking
a
at it.
little cheat sheet that I use for risk.
Okay.
Right. And I got some homework for
And how does this
you and
work?
everybody else. So this is essentially this is showing you when we have more risk on, risk off, right? This is a ETF for corporate grade investment grade bonds, right? So
Mhm.
basically they're just wrapping up a whole bunch of corporations, corporate bonds. They're investment grade and different types of bonds that are considered investment grade or lower risk.
Mhm.
And then you have high yield, which is HYG.
Mhm.
High yield is the riskier side of things in the
Mhm.
corporate sector.
So how do you use this?
How do I use this? All right. So I have some homework for people because I can't go through a full economics dissertation on this, but we have something called the credit spread. And that is between the treasuries, US treasuries, which are seen as risk off. And then you have corporate sector, which is, more risk on in terms
Mhm.
of corporate bonds.
Mhm.
Right. And if the credit spread gets too wide, meaning we're selling off in the corporate sector there's a flight to safety. Like if we see corporate sector bonds selling off big time
Mhm.
and we see that, treasury bonds are getting bid aggressively, we're widening the spread. There's a problem, right? Where there's a flight to safety,
Mm.
right? If we see that there is, if we see that the U.S. Treasury side is selling off, and we see that the corporate side is getting bid, then we know that there's a higher risk environment. If we see both moving in the same direction, then we have a really clear picture of what's going on, right? If we get a widening,
Mm.
it's about which side of the spread is it widening to, or are they both moving in the same direction? Meaning, are they both selling off? Or are they both getting bid? And it's it's opposite day when you see bids coming um, into treasuries and bonds. Typically, rates go down. When you see selling, rates go up, right? Because you're trying to
Mhm.
attract more
Yeah.
investment. So, um, what I like to use this corporate bond sector for is to take a look and evaluate risk. Higher risk environments are going to lead to nice breakouts in the corporate bond sector, meaning that more risk is on the table, more cash is being deployed in the corporate bond sector, which means that we're going to see more investment into the stock market and other risk-based
So is
assets.
that green or red?
That should be green for
Okay.
this because this isn't directly tracking yield. This is
Right.
tracking the actual buys. This isn't yield. So this is buy pressure, meaning
Okay.
yield is going to come down. Or just in general, we don't get the same kind of reaction in corporate bonds that we see in U.S. Treasuries. I just wanted to use that example
Mm.
for when you want to attract buyers, you increase the yield essentially.
Right.
You make it nice for them to get in.
Right.
And when we look here, you can go out to a weekly. So we had the big the big Q1 to Q2 crash, right?
Mhm.
From the highs in April down to the lows in March, or the highs in September to the lows in April.
Right.
And then we saw a nice V recovery with the stock market for high yield, which is
Mhm.
riskier, right? And then we saw a V recovery in stocks as well. And then we have investment grade, which is in this big bottoming formation. And if this turns itself around and goes this away, and high yield turns around and goes this away,
We going up, baby.
we're in a very risk on environment in that case. That means cash is being deployed in a very, very big way into the stock market and corporations in the United States. And that's a good thing.
Mm.
This, by the way, is why you have talk from the administration of the golden era when it comes to the economy.
Mhm.
It's more than just the tariffs that they're talking about. There is all kind of financial engineering that they're doing behind the scenes. Besant is a genius, by the way.
He
That
is.
guy is a genius. And for those that keep doubting him, go ahead and keep doubting him.
Nah, he know what he doing, dog.
Now, how does that relate to Bitcoin and crypto? You ain't going to get an alt season. Sorry. It's going to be a sector by sector altcoin rotation forevermore because bigger players are here. Sorry, that's the truth. And anybody can clip that. And if we have an alt season, you're more than welcome to bludgeon me on the timeline with it. But we're not going to have that. Your dust is pumping in your bag. It's going to be a sector by sector rotation. And in fact, what we're likely going to see in the next sector rotation is going to be prediction market, altcoins, and AI agents again. And the major chains that they're running on. So we'll get rotation through the majors, but good luck with predicting that alt season is going to pump all the dust in your bags, and the coin that you're in is your coin's definitely going to do great. Whatever's in your bag is definitely going to win. Let's put it that way.
Not life advice. Do your own research.
Yeah, do your own research. But one of the bigger things, what would that mean, right? If we see the markets just completely bust up to the upside, and what would likely be the news surrounding some of these events? Likely deals getting done, right? Tariff deals getting done, rates being cut, and then income and investment hitting the metrics that Trump is talking about, and then more news about what they're investing and building and why, what the actual outcome of those investments is. That would be really good. And then Clarity Act passing and Bitcoin Act passing. Okay. Well, why Bitcoin Act though? Bitcoin Act is going to be the one to really look for, because that's going to revalue gold certificates. The whole gold certificates issued by the Treasury are at $42 and some odd cents, $42.70 or 72 cents or something like that. The Bitcoin Act will pull back those gold Treasury bonds, right? And they're going to come back and they're going to revalue them at market value, at fair market price for gold, which is pretty damn high, just above $4,000 on the close today after a nice correction of 4K. Well, if they revalue gold, they're resetting the market, right? And we're the last ones to really do this, by the way. And what would they do? Well, they're going to give the dollar amount that they took back and issue that back, right? In the gold certificates.
Right.
So you're just going to get the dollar amount back. You're not reaping the fair value. The government's going to keep, the Treasury's keeping that overage for the revaluation. And then they're going to use that to then buy the Bitcoin and accumulate for the Treasury. That's all bets off. That is a massive bid, plus a signal that the United States is going in on Bitcoin. That's going to kick off an arms race around the world. You think treasury corporations and the big, where Bitcoin treasuries or crypto treasuries narrative is hot now? Boy, oh boy, that gets done between Clarity Act and Bitcoin Act. That is the next major catalyst. And if markets shape up to a more risk-on environment and there's free-flowing liquidity with easy access to funds via lower rates, and you got a tinderbox. But what's the other side of that coin? You're gonna get inflation with it. So everything has to job growth and wage has to outpace that newer inflation, and then inflation has to be dealt with later. So enjoy the golden bull run if it happens.
2026 is our year to get rich. You heard it here first. Goxstein News Network, baby. You better believe it. Lanny, thank you, man. I just put my charts in dark mode because I look like a complete fucking noob and with a white background. So you're the second person to show me with the black background. And I was really? Like, I'm a dweeb. So you see, I'm back.
There you go. See, perfect, baby. This is perfect. See, now you know. See, I'm a horrible degenerate who must look at the charts at all times. Yeah, and I'm white, so I can't wear sunglasses at night. So I have to have dark mode. So I get why you have light mode on, because you got the shades on. You're looking fly all the time. I'm a bald white dude with a beard that wears a puppet. That is a puppet online. So I gotta have dark mode, man.
I need my dark mode. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about black supremacy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Ladies and gentlemen, another knockout podcast here on the GNN Network. Shout out to Landy.
Hotep, you're a genius.
Hotep.
HotepJesus.com.
Hotep.
All the black people were as smart
I
as
just
Hotep
pressed every
Jesus.
button on my sound
And I
pad because
wish
I
all
don't
the
know
black
where
people were as smart as
everything
Hotep
is.
Jesus.
Well, it was great to talk to you, Hotep. Thanks for having me out, man.
Because that guy,
Great
he really knows
time.
how to boil it down.
Chat fire episode. Dubs in the chat. Dubs in the chat if you enjoyed this. Markel said we might need another show with Landy and HJ. I don't want this to end. I know, Markel. I know, man. We'll be back next week. I might get Randy on next week. I might get Randy and Landy. You know what I mean? Yeah, we might get Randy and Landy and go all the way in. You know what I mean?
She's a killer, man. She is a killer. She knows her shit, man.
At such a young age, it's so crazy to see. Like, she's a savage.
If I was that smart, I'd be chilling with Larry Fink right now, trying to plan how the rest of human society is going to go.
Can you imagine what she's gonna be when she like hits our age? Like, she's gonna be a beast, yo.
Be a billionaire.
Right. Right. When I was her age, shit, I was fucking working at, I think I was a bartender or some shit like that.
When I was her age, I was talking to my boss about if I could actually go and trade a very specific account. And they were like, "You don't have enough trading time under your belt yet. No, you ain't touching any of those accounts." So
see, both of y'all can kiss my black ass because I didn't even know I didn't have an investment account. I didn't know how to trade shit when I was y'all age, man. So fuck all of y'all.
That's that white privilege, bro.
It's that fucking white privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. I'll see y'all next week for GNN. Make sure y'all tune in and share this out so people can watch the replay. I'm out of here. Be well, stay married, tell somebody in your family that you love them as always. Hotep and Bill.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.